To begin the quest, an unfortunate shopkeeper, we seek out the head of the Fighters Guild in Anvil, Azan, who greets from behind his desk, mid-gaping chew of his lunch.
Looking for more work, eh? Good. Got a contract for you. I'd like you to go talk to Norbert Lelles, here in Anvil.
Norbert Lelles, you say? Where can I find him?
He runs Lelles quality merchandise here in Anvil. He's been having problems with break-ins, though, and he's hired us to put a stop to it. Take care of Lelles. He needs the help.
Huh. The way that Azan had stated Lelles needs help sounded a little bit odd. Regardless, we note in our journal, Azan has told me about a contract in Anvil at Norbert Lelles' store, Lelles Quality Merchandise. Making our way out of the guild hall and to the docks to find the store, where it's reportedly located, we bump into aging Imperial Astia Inventius, scorned wife of Pinnerus, that aided us in our previous quest, and she greets.
Hello! A pleasure to speak with you.
Hey Astia, thanks for the help the other day. Say, you wouldn't know anything about Norbert Lelles, would you?
He runs Lelles Quality Merchandise. Not a bad sort. You can usually find him in his store. Farewell.
Lelles Quality Merchandise? Clearly there's a joke that I'm missing. Heading halfway down the docks, we find to our left, amidst the taverns, a sign that reads Lelles Quality Merchandise, and somebody's realised they've forgotten the H in the sign and crudely added it above the C. No wonder it's given the locals a bit of a chuckle. Seems this Lelles needs more help than we realised. Heading inside the store, we're welcomed by a glassy-eyed blonde Breton.
Welcome.
Although he greets us, he just stares vacantly until we say, hello there.
Greetings. Welcome to Lelles Quality Merchandise. We have a wide range of goods to suit your needs. Oh, and perhaps you saw the sign outside? A slight mistake, you know. Bit of bad luck there. So, what can I do for you?
Don't worry, it could happen to anyone. Norbert Lelles, I presume?
I am Norbert Lelles. How may I help you?
I was sent by Azan from the Fighters Guild to aid with the break-ins that you've been having trouble with.
I've lost a great deal of merchandise over the last few months. I keep replacing it, but they keep stealing it. New locks on the doors be damned. They always come at night after I've gone to bed. Maybe a mage transports them inside. You can just stay in the shop overnight. Good luck. I'm going to wait at the flowing bowl until this mess is settled. I know I can trust you to keep the place safe.
With that brisk overview and saying goodbye,
Goodbye.
Lelles just marches straight out the door, leaving us to deal with the break-ins and our quest updates. I've spoken to Norbert Lelles, who says he has had break-ins at his store almost nightly. He would like someone to stay in the store tonight and catch the crooks in the act. A little bit stunned that we've been left to our own devices, we could just pilfer all of his goods as we look to the eastern corner of the room and see there are 2 emeralds in a display case that are ripe for the picking. And if we head upstairs, we find inside his personal quarters a very easily locked chest that contains a weapon and shields. Or in his second bedroom, we also discover a weak potion of invisibility and a potion of speed on the dresser. Plus, there are multiple other items that we could pilfer at our own leisure. Either Lelles is far too trusting or completely oblivious. Seeing as we've got a few hours to kill, we think it best if we go speak to him at the flowing bowl and perhaps learn a few more clues which will aid us in thwarting the thieves. Stepping out the front door of the store, we nearly bowl into a trio of 3 goons.
No time to talk. Go away.
Well, it's common knowledge that the Anvil docks can be quite rough and tumble, but these 3 clearly have their minds set on mischief. Entering the flowing bowl, we find Norbert mingling with the crowd, and he turns to question.
What can I do for you? Do you have questions about these break-ins I've been having?
Norbert, sorry for interrupting. I was just wondering if you could tell me anything more about the break-ins.
As I said, I'll need you to stop these thieves from breaking into my store. It only seems to happen at night.
As we realize we're going to get no more information, Norbert again gazes at us with a glazed-over look, exclusively gulping in air from his open mouth. And the pieces start to come together and we say, Norbert, how do you stay afloat in Anvil? Where do you get your merchandise?
Anvil's a port town. That's why you'll see items here you won't find in the Imperial City. The captains keep an eye out for special items for me.
Oh, so the ship captains help him out. That makes sense.
Goodbye.
Unsurprisingly, the other citizens of Anvil are also aware of Norbert's shortcomings, and as we loiter around the local taverns, we hear,
Norbert Lelles runs a fine store, but he's not the brightest fellow.
I feel sorry for Norbert Lelles. He's a good man, but he gets taken in so easily.
He's a nice fella, but he couldn't even get the sign for his store spelled right.
He's not the smartest man, but he's a nice guy. I just hope he can keep his business afloat.
Now the pieces come together for myself as to why the quest is titled An Unfortunate Shopkeeper. And it should also be noted, and it's a little quirk that I enjoy about fantasy titles, is that Norbert, seeming harmless, is regarded affectionately by the locals and is looked after as well. There are obviously no medical terms in a fantasy universe, though the fact I learned recently that insults like calling someone an idiot or a moron, etc., were actually medical terms back in the day to denote somebody's specific IQ. However, Norbert doesn't seem like he's not that bright, so I did some digging in the construction set because usually when a voice actor has to deliver lines and acting a character with, say, a specific affliction like Phalion.
You have skooma? Oh, my friend. Yeah, you're my friend now. Thank you. Thank you.
Obviously, the voice actor needs direction, and that can be found sometimes in the comments box about the voice line takes. So I did some digging on Lelles, and there are no specific lines. Now, the producer could have told the actor to just do it straight. I don't know what's going on, but I was hoping that something like simple-minded, mouth breather, anything would have appeared and that would have given him a more unique and slower take, but perhaps that's just my own wishful thinking as it hasn't transpired. What I will say is that people who are either slow or deemed crazy, other than being sent to a local healer, there's no medical facilities in universe and they can find themselves as outcasts, living on the fringes of society, or I dare say, cast out into the Shivering Isles. Now, the reason why I point this out is because this will come full circle at the end of the quest, and it seems old Shea Gorath, perhaps he took notice of Norbert, or at the very least, the devs sought justice on the Bretons' behalf. Either way, we return to Norbert's misspelled store, sitting behind the counter, and wait until it grows dark and the witching hour is upon us. It's then we hear, we're not alone.
You there! Stop where you are!
Take that! Stay away! Come here!
You're pathetic! I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm!
Come here!
I'll send your bloody soul straight to Sovngarde! Not the best you can do! Get this over with!
Contending with a trio of thugs, our quest updates. I've taken care of the crooks breaking into Norbert Lelles' store. I should speak with the shopkeeper himself. Looking over their bodies, we find their basic fur armors and weapons and remove them. Though another amazing quirk, it seems, behind the scenes is, with the wiki states all three had possessed a key to the store, which was also misspelled Lelles Quality Merchandise, proving that Lelles' misspelling was not just a once-off. Returning to the flowing bowl with good news for the oblivious Breton, he questions.
Were you able to take care of my problem with break-ins?
Yes. A trio of thugs tried to take over your store, but Anvir, Dranus, Lorano, and Storn the Burly are dead. Well, you'll see the bodies when you go back in.
You've gotten them? Wonderful. But their names are familiar to me. All of those men have worked for me. Amazing. I even trusted them to open up the shop in the mornings. I can't imagine what turned them to a life of crime. Sad. Well, here's your payment.
If you'll indulge a final tidbit I found interesting, it's that Wes Johnson, the voice of the Imperials, was the original voice for the Bretons also, until Ralph Cosham was cast. Rest in peace. And we'll listen to Wes Johnson's take, as it totally changes the inflection of the lines, being,
You've gotten them? Wonderful! But their names are familiar to me. All of those men have worked here. Amazing. I even trusted them to open up the shop in the mornings. I can't imagine what turned them into a life of crime. Sad. Well, here's your payment.
Concluding the quest, we receive 100 gold and +1 to fame. Questioning. Well, I hope you're happy with the service the Fighters Guild has provided.
Herwin was sparring with some other Fighters Guild members recently. I don't think any of them could get a hit through her shield.
Yes, I'm sure that was a dazzling spectacle. I'll leave you to it then, Norbert.
Come back anytime.
Checking on Lelles after the incident, we note in our journal as our quest completes. Norbert Lelles was surprised to learn that the men breaking in were all former employees, though none of them had been with him long. He was glad that the problem was taken care of, though. Lelles, not bothering to clear up the bodies for whatever reason, sits pondering in his store what he should be doing, which is probably clearing up bodies, and greets.
Greetings. Seeing you just makes me feel safer. I offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
It should be noted the ship captains do seem to take care of Lelles pretty well, as he has 800 gold and also boasts 2 items that are unique to his store, being the Boots of the Eel, which in part resist shock 10% on self, and Apron of the Master Artisan, imparting Fortify Armor, Alchemy and Security 7 points on self.
Come back anytime.
If a job well done, if we say so, despite Lelles' questionable hiring practices, we return to Azan in the Fighters Guild quarters. Although it seems the news of our exploits has already reached the guild members.
There were 3 guys at the Lelles break-ins? And the new guy didn't let any get away? Ha! I like that.
Azan, mouth gaping, still comically eating his invisible lunch, turns to acknowledge.
Well met.
Norbert Lelles isn't going to have any trouble from burglars. They're all dead. He hired them. He didn't even think that the people that he was hiring were going to steal from him, even though he has no security or forethought. But you already knew that, right?
It's like everything is taken care of there. Good work. Go to it.
But with the quest ended, it's now time to explore how Lelles himself has a tie to the mad god Sheogorath and his realm, and how one of Lelles' own bullies, it seems, faces divine retribution in the realm of the mad god. Now, I don't want to go into spoilers prematurely for the Shivering Isles, but I will say this. It's an absolute pleasure to experience the DLC, as you can feel just how much fun and love the developers poured into creating the Mad God's realm, specifically due to the detail and creativity they crammed into the shorter story, characters and quests. So believe me when I say this is a 10 out of 10 obscure and very easy to miss callback to Norbert Lelles found in the DLC. See, at one point, the mad god Sheogorath decides we need to dole up justice ourselves to people trying to break into his realm.
You're going to Zedilian, one of my favorite spots in the Isles. It's a little place I used to take care of unwanted visitors. And some are more unwanted than others.
In this case, an archetypical party of a warrior orc, rogue Breton, and mage elf. Now, also interesting is that the orc named Gromok Grobarak possesses a journal containing details about his party that reads, "We were finally able to convince that idiot rogue Lewin that it was time to give up that strong box of money he stole from Lelles quality merchandise in Anvil and ditch it outside the castle. All the heat he'd brought on the group was starting to chafe. Sindelius pretty much shut him down and made him do it, but I was ready to put my foot in his face. I know he's a rogue, but we're adventurers. We get our loot from raiding old crypts and ruins and places that ain't got guards. He can be a real horse's ass sometimes, I'll tell ya. Now, deliciously, we, the player, are arbiters of retribution, again for the simple-minded Norbert Lelles and his store, and can choose Lewin's punishment directly, either killing him or perhaps more appropriately, drive him mad. So, if he ever escapes the Isles to Cyrodiil, the townsfolk can talk about he is apparently touched in the head and share their sympathies for him and his affliction, like they do for his previous target, the poor Lelles.
Oblivion is that thing.
This is one of the horrid guardians of which the stories spoke?
Be careful. There may be more to this creature than meets the eye.
What a joke. Let's be rid of this thing and continue on our way.
Are my eyes playing tricks? Or is the creature
By the
growing?
gods, when will it stop? It could devour us whole.
Run for your lives!
Get back here, you cowards. Something's not right.
All this time it was merely an illusion. How clever.
Wait, what's wrong with Lewin?
Makes no sense. Should be dead. Well, what? Who?
I think this place got to him. Perhaps we should leave.
No, we'll pick him up on the way out. He must fend for himself.
Yes, quite an amazing place, really. Wonderful for relieving one's tension as you watch those troublesome adventurers suffer. No offense.